Hi everyone, back. I'm going to do another video. First, let's take a little spin. Kind of move some things around a little bit, but there's a few things that have been out there for a while. And over here is some new stuff. As you can see, I finally got my otter in the back. That's a vintage otter, anchor messer. And something new right there. It's a Rough Rider, believe it or not. Very rare, but we'll be going over that sometime soon. So let's kind of get a good look. So anyway, I was skimming through the comments. I didn't get to reply to anybody yet, but I'll do that while this is loading. So by the time you see this, I'll probably have replied if you made a comment to the Pakistan Barlow yesterday. But I was skimming through and seen Tobias. Was a little intrigued by a yellow fixed blade that I had laying out there yesterday. Let's try and adjust this thing here. But anyway, let's get right to it. Here's the box it's going to come in. Of course, you get your certificate of authenticity. Kissing Crane since 1834. My eyes are terrible. And there's your model number, KC5475, made in China. Without further ado, now there's a lot of positives to this and a few negatives that I've found. Primarily with the sheath. Oops, kind of rocking the boat here, right on the edge. Now, if you notice, the sheath doesn't have any snap down, any kind of strap or anything. It fits kind of in there snugly. But it just pops out. Now, this is just a little hunter skinner. This is not, it's not for chopping down trees. Although I'm sure you can find a way to do that. But as you'll see, it's just a friction pocket hold. So what concerns me about this is if you had it on your hip hiking and you went off the trail a little bit. I remember when I did a lot of hiking and kind of went to blaze my own trail, sometimes you get caught up in some brush where the vines will kind of wrap. And it's just my concern that you might lose your knife, fall and hit you on the foot or something. But since my hiking days are pretty much over, I do walk down the little nature trails and stay right on the trail. But, this here with the beautiful bone, I couldn't let it pass. It only cost $33. It's 440 steel. It's got a really shape to the, it's kind of a Bowie skinner with the grind. Let's see, Kissing Crane since 1834. There's your model number, stainless steel, handcrafted in China. And let me tell you, I couldn't find one thing wrong with this. Not one. Everything is flush. It's pin construction, full tang. The pommel is on there really secure. It looks like this is could be leather ring construction in the middle. Can't tell if it's leather or bone. But you got your piece that goes on here, your piece that goes on here, secures to the tang. It probably has a threaded pin in there where You put your rings down and then put your pommel on. But there's no gaps. It's just a beautiful knife. I love this. Plus the color, the yellow jig bone. And it came out of the box sharper than, I mean, it is sharp. Now it's not a big, we'll take some measurements. Probably better to keep it down here. I'll put it right there, this way. Take some measurements on it. Its overall length is like 7 3/4. Your blade is about 3.5 if you count the tang. Probably 3 1/4 on the cutting edge. So it's a little guy. About 4 1/4 on the handle. So let's check out the weight on it. Now, there's no balance to it at all. If you're looking for a balanced knife, this is not the one to get. If you were blind and you held it in your hand, you would just be feeling from here down. I mean, all the weight is in the handle and the pommel. The blade, you couldn't even, if you close your eyes, you wouldn't be able to tell that there's a blade there. Which it concerns some people. For me, it's never really been a problem. I only want a balanced knife, like for my K-bar fighting knife. I mean, when you're just going to be using this to either skin animals or around the kitchen for carving and stuff, that's probably the knife you would want. But anyway, let's check out the weight. So it's 3.9 ounces, which isn't overly heavy. I mean, but it's not that big of a knife. For reference, we'll put it out to a 5-inch blade hunter skinner, which you guys seen before, is my case. So look at that case, which isn't a big knife, kind of dwarfs it. A big knife would be something, I don't have my K-bar, but let's go for broke and bring the marbles out. Here's a marbles Bowie. You have to pan back for this one. Now that, since we're talking about Pakistan, this marbles knife was made in Pakistan. But that's real leather ring wrap handle. See, Pakistan? Not sure what kind of steel. That's more for looks. I wouldn't, if I was going out in the field, which I used to, I would always bring the Gerber strong arm. This is easy to index, real good for any use. Wood, food, skinning an animal, gutting a deer, whatever you need. And plus it comes in a Kydex, which you can put it in either way. And if you wanted to hook it to your backpack with the Mauli, I got a whole bunch of different pieces and attachments. But this is really probably the most useful knife. If you ever go on YouTube and search Gerber strong arm gauntlet, you'll see this knife do some amazing things. But anyway, that's where we're at with it. I love the bone on it. Yellow's my favorite color, kind of. One of the favorites. And if you look at the construction, there's, well, actually a little gap there now that I see. But, I mean, if that's the one little thing you're going to complain about, that's all real, they did a really good job with the dye. I mean, to bring the yellow out, but that's Kissing Crane's colors, so I imagine they got quite a bit of yellow jigged bone on their knives. But yeah, I would give it a thumbs up. I would say be careful with the sheath. Be careful with the sheath because there's nothing holding it in there except friction. But all in all, a really good knife. Sharp as a whistle. I like to use that term. Really nice grind on it. And it is 440. I guess it's the 440 stainless, so it wouldn't be 440C. But there you have it. So, my friends, take care. Peace out.